Very good morning, students. Welcome back to PPS online class. Last session we had the discussion on operator precedence and operator associativity. The usage of operator precedence and operator associativity, we said whenever we have a complex expression to evaluate, there is a confusion about there is a confusion in evaluating the operators with which are involving in a single complex expression. So in order to evaluate such operators, we are going for a precedency rule. Okay, so precedence and associativity, we said we need to apply the precedence first and then we have to apply the associativity. So whenever you are applying the precedence, we have a precedence table. According to the table, we need to consider all the operators in the complex expression. So if a particular operator is having higher precedence level, we need to evaluate that operator first and then we have to go for the operator which is having the lower precedence level. Okay, inside the precedence table, if you see the precedence table, likewise we need to consider all the operators according to their precedence level. So if a particular, how the precedence level will be decided here in the sense, the operators which are coming at the top in the precedence table are having the highest precedence, and as you move down or as you go down, the precedence level will decrease. Okay, so always look for the top operators or the operators with higher precedence level inside the table and evaluate them first and then go for the operators which are having the lower precedence level. So the associativity, the role of associativity, if more number of operators are having the same precedence level, of course it is okay that according to the precedence we are evaluating the operators. As you can see, at a particular precedence level we have more number of operators. So if more number of operators are involving inside your expression, inside your complex expression with same precedence level, then we have to go for associativity. As per the associativity rule, we will evaluate them. So the associativity, it can be either left to right associativity or right to left associativity. The concept is very simple. If you're applying left to right associativity, just move from left towards right direction, and whatever inside your complex expression you have to move in that way, and whatever operator you're encountering first in that movement, then simply evaluate it first. Okay, so likewise we apply the associativity. We said associativity is not required always. So first you apply the precedence, and based on the precedence only we decide whether there is a need to apply the associativity or not. If you don't have any conflict, if you don't have any confusion after applying the precedence, okay, operator precedence, then don't go for associativity. Okay, but after applying the precedence, if you got the confusion, then only go for associativity. Okay, hopefully you understood this concept. And then we started the concept of conditional branching. So conditional branching example also I have given, how we are selecting a particular possible path from a list of paths. Okay, from all possible paths, how we are selecting a particular path based on our decision or based on our condition. Okay, I gave you the example of reaching home from college. Okay, if you are moving to your to your home from the college, you have n number of possible paths. Among those n number of possible paths, how you are selecting a particular path based on your decision, based on your pre-plan, that we have discussed. Okay, so visiting a friend, if is your I have subdivided my paths into A, B, C, D. A is at A path you have your friend's house, at B path you have a bookstore, and at C path you have a vegetable store, and at a D path you have a fruit store. Okay, so based on your decision, if you want to visit your friend, you are selecting A path and you are skipping B, C, D path. And if you want to buy some vegetables, then you are going with the C path and you are skipping A, B, D paths. Likewise, whenever you are selecting a particular path from all possible paths, you are skipping the other paths. So that is something called decision making in your C language. Okay, so decision is nothing but selecting the right choice between the alternatives, between multiple alternatives. Okay, in computer, always the decision will be made based on some condition. We are going to have certain condition, and first we'll go with only two possible paths, that is two-way selection, and after that we will discuss about multiple possible paths. Okay, that comes under the multi-way selection. First we go with two-way selection, then we go with multi-way selection. In two-way selection we are going to have only two possible paths, only two alternatives. Among these alternatives, we have to select only one possible path. So whenever you have such kind of decision making, we call it as a two-way selection statement or two-way branching or a conditional statement, conditional branching statement. So conditional branching statement always involved with a condition. And as you know, every condition in C language, it is a resultant in only two possible cases, whether it can be a true or it can be a false. Whenever we are whenever we are having a condition, that condition, it can be true or it can be false. There is no other possible alternative we have for a condition. Condition, either it can be true or it can be false. Okay, so always for every possibility of the decision, there will be an action or a set of actions defined. So we'll divide our we divide our program into some pieces of code, and based on the condition we put some set of code under true block and some set of code under false block according to our requirement. So if the condition goes to true, we evaluate the true block, and when the condition goes to false, we evaluate the false block. If the specified condition becomes true, a set of actions suitable to that will be selected for execution, failing which the false operations will be selected for execution. I will show you the complete flow chart, coding, everything, how to do the two-way selection. So simply remember, whenever we are saying conditional branching, two-way conditional branching, there is a condition, and based on the result of that condition, either we execute a set of statements or we skip a set of statements, or we do both. Okay, so this conditional branching statements in C, we have 5 different types, or in C the following possible conditional branching statements are there. The first one is the simplest one. The first one is the if statement. The first one is the if statement. Then we have if else statement. Then we have nested if else statement, else if ladder, and finally the switch statement. Remember these 5: simple if statement, if else statement, nested if else statement, else if ladder, and finally the switch statement. We start with the simplest one, or the easiest one in our list, that is the simple if else, simple if statement. There is no else. Simple if statement. Simple if else, nested if else if ladder, and switch case. Among these 5, the first 3, okay, the first 3 are the two-way selection statements. Two-way selection statements. We call them as two-way selection statements. And the last 2, else if ladder and switch statement, these 2 are the multi-way selection statements. Multi-way selection statements. Two-way selection statements and multi-way selection statements. Okay, so we need to discuss all these the complete list one by one. So let's just start with the simple if statement. So simple if, we are going to have only the condition, and if the condition is true, a particular block will be executed, and if the condition is false, that block will be skipped, nothing else. Okay, we are going to have if statement with a condition, simple if statement with a condition, and if that condition is true, a particular block will be executed, and if that condition is false, that block will be skipped. In C, the simplest form of decision making is if statement, simple if statement. Okay, the statement will have a condition helpful in making the decision. So why we are using this condition means in order to make the decision. So based on this condition only we are making the decision. So this condition when evaluated, this condition when considered, it can be either true or it can be either false. So if it is true, a particular block will be evaluated. The true block will be evaluated. We will put a block after this if statement, and if that condition is true, this block will be evaluated. This true block will be evaluated. And if that condition is false, this block will be skipped. This block will be skipped. So in this way, we can make skipping of the statements in our execution. So whenever whatever condition, before this block only I'm going to put the condition. So if that condition is true, this block will be evaluated, and if this condition is false, this block will be skipped. Okay, if the condition is true, then the statement block will be executed. If the condition is true, then the statement block will be executed, and if the condition is false, it does not do anything, or the statement block is simply skipped. Okay, so if the condition is false, what will happen? The statement block will be skipped. If the simple form of if statement will not have anything to do, in that case, in case of false condition. So in false condition, what it will do? It will simply skip. It is not having anything other than that to do. It will simply skip. But if the condition is true, it has to consider this block and it has to execute this block. Hopefully you understood. In case of if the condition is false, it doesn't have anything to do, but if the condition is true, it needs to consider the immediate block, true block, and it has to execute that true block. Hopefully you understood. So then we have, the condition is given in parenthesis. How we are using this if simple if statement in programming, that they are explaining over here. The condition is given in parenthesis and must be evaluated as true non-zero and false 0. Okay, if a compound statement is there, if there is only one single statement, no need to use the compound statement, that is block. Okay, if there is only one statement, no need to use this block, and if there are multiple statements to put under the body of this if statement, then you need to use the block. Okay, so how we are using the conditional statement, if statement, simple if statement, if and then inside parenthesis we are keeping the condition. Inside parenthesis we are keeping the condition. And if there is only one statement, okay, if there is only one statement, no need to use the statement block. Like this you should not use. The curly brackets you should not use. But if there are multiple statements, you have if followed by the condition, and if the condition is true, I have multiple statements to be evaluated. 1, 2, 3, 4, like this. 5 statements I have. This is statement 1, statement 2, statement 3, like that you consider. Statement 2, statement 3, statement 4, and statement 5, like this you consider. If you have 5 statements to be evaluated, then you need to merge them. Okay, you need to merge them, because only one statement is allowed inside the if condition. Okay, inside the simple if. Inside any control structure, only one statement is allowed. And if you want to put more number of statements, just merge them like a block of statements. How we can make this as a block of statement means simply put curly brackets before and after that. Okay, so now this entire thing is merged. These 5 statements are merged and forming a single statement. Block of statement will be considered like a single statement only. And remember, in every control structure, only one single statement is allowed. We can't put more number of statements inside the control structure. Okay, so hopefully you understood this one. So if this condition is true, this statement block will be evaluated, and if this condition is false, nothing will happen. Simply whatever statements we have after this if those will be considered for evaluation. Okay, hopefully you understood. So then we have, yeah, this is the flow chart. So if you see what we are doing over there, we are entering into the control structure, that is simple if statement. We are entering into the control structure and we are checking the condition. If the condition is true, we are entering into the body. Okay, we are entering into the body of the if statement. That is nothing but the statement block. Inside body, what we are having? We are having the statement block. So if the condition is true, we are entering into the body, and if the condition is false, we are exiting. We are not considering the body and we are simply exiting from the control structure. So this is the flow chart and this is the code example. How we use A value I took like 10 and B value like 20 I took. So A is 10 and B is 20. Then what I am doing? If at all I am checking A is greater than B or not. So over here, what is my values of A and B? A value is 10 and B value is 20. So if you check this condition is not satisfied. This condition is false. I am saying A value is greater than B. So this is false. So immediately what will happen? The control will come out. The control will come at this point. It will not consider the body. It will not consider the body because the condition is false. If the condition is false, it should not consider the body. It should come out. It is coming out, and immediately after the if statement, I have this printf, and it is printing the value of B. So what it is doing? It is printing the value of B. So I will get the value of B on my output screen. That is, the value of B is 20. I will get 20 on my output screen. So let us assume a different condition over here. Okay. Let's just put A value is lesser than B. Like this you consider. So now what is A value? A value is 10 and B value is 20. So this is 10 and this is 20. The condition is satisfied. The condition is satisfied. So it is true. So now what I have to do? I have to consider the body. So the control will come immediately to the body, and on the output it will print the value of A. What is that? The value of A is 10. So first it will print 10, then from here it will come to this point as well. It will print B value as well, that is 20. So whenever my condition is true, I am getting A value as well as B value, and whenever my condition is becoming false, I am getting only B value. So in this way I have two alternatives, two possible paths. One path is taking directly to the false case, and other path it is taking to the true case, and then like this. Hopefully you understood. So whenever the specified condition becomes true, statement block, that is nothing but body of the if statement, gets executed. And if at all my condition becomes false, it has nothing to do. The if statement has nothing to do. So directly the control will jump to the after statements. Whatever statements I have after the if statement, those will be considered. Hopefully you understood. So this is the concept of simple if statement. Okay, simple if statement. So then I have the if else statement, the second type of control structure or conditional branching statement, that is if else statement. It is called as a two-way selection statement because we are going to have two possible alternatives now. Unlike skipping of statements, now we are going to have two possible alternatives. Okay, so like this, if you are going home and only two possible paths you have. Okay, if you are going home and you have only two possible paths, one path is going in this direction and the other path is going in this direction, and I'm naming these paths like A and B. Only two paths, two-way selection. Here you have your friend's house and here you have the bookstore. Here you have the bookstore. So when you are reaching this point, okay, this if else part, when you are reaching there, you will put some condition. If I need to buy books, textbooks, if I need to buy textbooks, I need to buy textbooks. If that is true, if you really want to buy the textbooks, then what you will do? You will go in this direction. Okay, you will go in this direction. In B path you will go, because you want to buy the textbooks and you have the bookstore on B path. Okay, if you don't want to buy the textbooks, then what you will do? You will move in A direction. Okay, then you will move in A direction. Okay, likewise. Okay, Yes. So another form of decision making statement is two-way selection statements. In this way, in this, not only the action for true condition but also the actions for false condition state are specified. Previously we specified only for true condition. We have not specified anything for false condition. But here we will do both the things. Not only for true case but also for false case we will put some statements. So whenever my condition is true, the true block will be evaluated and false block will be skipped. And whenever my condition becomes false, the false block will be evaluated and true block will be skipped. The expression or the condition which is followed by if statement must be enclosed in parenthesis. So where we put the condition means immediately after the if keyword and inside the parenthesis we are keeping the condition. And no semicolon in both the cases. If in case of if and in case of if else, we should not put the semicolon at the end, as you have noticed over here. When we are framing the if statement, here you're not seeing any semicolon, and rest of all the statements they are ending with semicolons. Only these control structures, they will not end with semicolons. Okay, so then as like simple if the condition is true, the part of statements or the true part of the statements will be executed, and if the condition is false, the else part of the statements will be executed. Okay, so the flow chart and the program code, if you see, you will understand. Over here is the flow chart. So as you can see, we are entering, I think this is something extra we got over here. This should be deleted. Okay, let me just delete that one. Yeah, this thing extra we got. Okay, so just come over here now. Yes, just see this. So the syntax and the flow chart, both the things you can refer over here, and the program code I guess in my next slide we have. So in this slide we are discussing about the flow chart. So how we are entering from the top, from here we are entering into the expression or the condition from here. Okay, so when you enter like this, so if this expression or if this condition is true, will go in this direction. Okay, will go in this direction. So true, and whatever expression you are keeping over here, if it is resulting a non-zero value, in that case also we will consider that as a true case only. If you are keeping the condition and if that condition is true, the control will move in this direction. And if you are taking an expression and that expression is giving a non-zero value, that also will be considered like true case only, and the control will move in this direction. So in the case of the expression or the condition is true, the statement 1 will be evaluated, or this we call it as the true block of the if else statement. True block will be evaluated. And if the statement or expression is false, if it is a condition and it is false, and if it is an expression and if it is resulting in 0, then the control will move in this direction. We call this part as an else part. This is true block and this is false block. Always where we put the false block, in the sense inside else part of the if else statement. Inside the else part of the if else statement we put the false block. Here you can see if expression. If the expression is true, the true block. If the expression is false, the false block will be evaluated. So true block where we are keeping, inside the if statement we are keeping the true block, and false block where we are keeping, inside the else statement we are keeping the false block. So this is if else condition, if else statement. Whenever expression value is true or non-zero, statement 1 will be evaluated. In both the cases the same thing, and will be executed. If the expression value is 0 or false, if the expression value is 0 or false, statement 2 will be evaluated. Okay, so in both the cases, when the condition is true, the false block will be skipped, and when the condition is false, the true block will be skipped. Okay, likewise you remember. Then we have the, yes, only one statement is allowed in both the cases, both the what we call statements. Either if you are keeping the true block, there also only one statement is allowed, and if you are keeping the false statements, there also only one statement is allowed. And if you want to put more statements, you have to go for compound statements. Okay, you have to go for compound statements. Compound statement is nothing but you have to take the curly brackets and frame the what we call extra statements and group them like a single statement. Hopefully you understood this one. So this is if else block. Then we have a program demonstration. This we will do in the evening. Then we have the nested if else. Nested if else is very simple. If you put an if else block into another if else block, then we call it as an nested if else block. Okay, nested if else means within the if else you can include another if else. Okay, within the if else what we are doing, we are including another if else. So if you have such a case, such statement combination, we call them as the nested if else block. Okay, the consideration will be quite complex over there. How the statements will be considered and how the statements will be evaluated, the consideration will be very complex, and it is the best example for multi-way selection statement. It is a possible case of multi-way selection statements. Okay, by nesting if else within another if else, the programmers will have the possibility of including multiple conditions in the program. So with only one if else statement, there is a possibility of keeping only one condition, and based on that condition either it can be true or it can be false. So we are going to have only two possible paths. So that is something like that. I will show you in a hierarchy. See here, this is my decision making point, and if I am keeping a condition over here, I am going to have two possible paths. One when the condition is true, and when the condition is false. So if I nest another if else into an existing if else, then what will happen? I will get another possible decision making point. Okay, if I put one if else inside if part, and if I put one if else inside else part, then I am getting two more decision making points. So from here one more true false, from here also one more true false. So how many conditions I am keeping over here? Three conditions. This is condition 1, this is condition 2, and this is condition 3. So likewise I will show you with coding this one. See here, inside the if part only I am keeping another if else part. So this is my actual if else. Okay, this is my actual if else. Then what I am doing, I am keeping another if else inside my if part. So over here when I am keeping another if else inside my if part, I am getting one more condition. This is my outer condition and this is my inner condition. How the consideration will be over here in the sense, first the outer condition will be checked, outer expression will be checked. If the outer expression is false, let us assume, if the first we will go with the simple method. If the outer expression is false, then what will happen? Directly the control will jump to the false part, that is else part, and it will execute statement 3. The statement 3 will be evaluated. But if the expression 1 is true, in that case what will happen? If the expression 1 is true, the control will go to the true block. But inside true block we have another if. Okay, inside true block we have another if. So then the second condition will also be tested. If the second condition is also true, then statement 1 will be evaluated. And if the second condition is false, then statement 2 will be evaluated. Like this. Outer condition, if this is true, inner condition will be checked. If inner condition is also true, then statement 1 will be evaluated. If inner condition is false, then statement 2 will be evaluated. If outer condition itself false, then the statement 3, that is else part of the outer condition, outer if statement, will be evaluated. So over here, if you see the flow chart of this discussion, just come over here. How we will enter over here? From the top we will enter. We will come like this. Then we have the expression 1, let us assume. Then expression 1, let us assume it is false. Then the control will move in this direction, execute statement 3 and exit. There is nothing else we have to do. It is simply executes statement 3 and it will exits. But if the expression 1 is true, then we have another expression, expression 2 to be tested. If expression 2 is true, then this way. If expression 2 is false, then this way. So like this, all our statements will be considered based on the expression 1, expression 2 value. If outer condition expression 1 is true and the inner condition expression 2 is also true, then only statement 1 will be evaluated and statement 3, statement 2 will be skipped. If outer condition is true and inner condition is false, then only statement 2 will be evaluated. Only this path will be selected and rest of all the paths will be ignored, okay, or skipped. Then if the outer condition itself false, okay, then only this path, statement 3 path will be selected and rest of all paths will be skipped or ignored. Hopefully you understood. This is nested if else statement. Okay, a program using this statement also we need to practice. Okay, then we have the if else ladder. So this if else ladder is also a way to select to achieve multi-way selection statement. To have the multiple possible paths inside your program, we go for the if else ladder. Okay, so it is very simple. In every if statement we are going to have an another nested if else statement. In every else part we are going to have another nested if else statement. So if you put like that, we call it as an if else ladder. Okay, simply we are joining multiple if else together, okay, by using the nested if else concept. Okay, so to achieve the to achieve like a ladder kind of thing, to achieve the multi-way selection statement. So first what we are doing, see here, we are keeping, so in normal way we are starting, first we are keeping if followed by the expression. For our simplicity, for our understanding, I will make this as expression 1. Then the statement block associated with the expression 1, statement 1. Then we are starting the else part of this if statement, outer if statement. So inside this else, what I am doing, I am keeping another if else. If expression, make this expression as 2, then put statement 2, then close this and put the else part, and inside this else part I can put another if else statement. If expression 3 followed by statement 3, close it, then put the else part. Likewise, how many you can put means as many as you insist, as many as you want. So there is a continuity up to if followed by else, sorry, not else, if followed by expression n, expression n of. So to break this, simply ignore the else part. Simply ignore the else part at the end, like this. So in this way, what we are doing, we are framing like a ladder kind of thing, isn't it? Ladder with steps. So because of this reason, we are calling such statements as if else ladder. So first what will happen, expression 1 will be tested. If expression 1 is true, statement 1 will be evaluated. Immediate true block. If expression 1 is true, statement 1 will be evaluated. Okay. So if expression 1 is false, then what will happen? It will move to the else part, and inside else we have another if. Okay. Inside else we have another if. So expression 2 will be tested. So if expression 2 is also true, then statement 2. If expression 1 is false and expression 2 is true, then statement 2 will be evaluated. If expression 2 is also false, then ultimately it has to go for the else part. Then again, the third expression, the third if statement, expression will be tested. If it is true, statement 3. If it is false, next expression. Likewise, it is framing the else if ladder. We call this particular thing as else if ladder because it is giving like a ladder kind of conditional branching statement. Okay, so this is a way to achieve multi-way selection statement, or for having multiple paths in our program, in multiple paths in our decision making, we are going for this else if ladder. Okay, so the flow chart, I think it is not printed over here. Okay, so if followed by the expression or the condition 1, and if this is true, the statement 1. If condition 2 is true, statement 2. If condition 3 is true, the statement 3. Whatever condition is true in this ladder kind of syntax, the suitable statement block or the statement will be evaluated, and rest of all they will be simply ignored. Okay, then we have the switch statement. It is also a way to achieve the multi-way selection statement in your programming. Yeah, up to this we will discuss, up to switch statement we will discuss in today's class. The loops we will do in our next class, next session. Okay, the switch statement is a way of implementing a multi-way selection statement in C. The switch statement is used only when the selection condition reduces to an integral value. So it should not go to a floating point, it should not go to some other value, it should always go to integral value, not even the Boolean value. If it is going to the integral value, then only we are moving to this switch case statement. Whatever condition, if you have a condition in your decision making, then go for two-way selection statement. Okay, or if you have conditions, multiple conditions in your decision making, go for multi-way selection statement with if else ladder. But if you have an expression which is giving an integral value in your decision making, then go for switch case statement. Alternatives you have to understand and you have to remember. Condition with only two possible weights, go for two-way selection statements, any two-way selection statement. Then conditions to achieve multi-way selection, go with if else ladder or nested if else. Okay, then expression with possible integral output, then go for switch statement. If the selection condition is not an integral value, then if else ladder can be used. Okay, if the condition is not resulting an integral value, then you can go with else if ladder, because over there you have the multi-way selection statement with Boolean values, so you can go with if else ladder. But multi-way selection statement with conditions and integral values, then you come for switch statement. Switch is a selection statement in which decision for a selection is made between many alternatives. Okay, here also between many alternatives we are selecting only one possible alternative. A switch statement allows a single variable to be compared with several possible case labels, which are represented by constant values. Case labels, how we are representing? Constant values we are representing, and we are going to give an expression inside this switch case statement. That expression, if it is resulting any of the possible case constant, the suitable statements, block of statements will be evaluated. Okay, so just we'll go and we'll discuss over here. See here, switch, the syntax, how we can use this switch statement is in the sense, switch followed by the expression we need to put. Over here we kept the expression. Okay, this expression will be tested, and here constant 1, constant 2, constant 3, all these are constant, and all these are my cases. Case followed by the constant, case followed by the constant, like this I have to put. And the last possible case is the default case. Okay, this is a special type of case, about it also we will discuss. And don't forget to break all cases in your switch statement. If you forget to break the case statement, what will happen? All the cases will be evaluated. That is not our intention. We want to evaluate only the particular case of matching constant. This expression will result a particular constant. Okay, if this expression is resulting constant 1, if this expression is resulting constant 1, then what will happen? The suitable true block of constant 1 will be evaluated. And after evaluating the suitable true block of constant 1, at the end we have the break statement. So the control will break and exit to the closing block. The control will simply jump from here to here. It will not execute case 2, case 3 and so on up to case n. Not even the default case. It will simply jump out of this block. Okay, if the condition or the expression is going to constant 2, then the suitable block associated with this constant 2 will be evaluated, and uh, at the end we have the break statement, so it will break. Likewise up to constant n. Okay, up to constant n all blocks will be considered. Okay, if constant 1 is resulted, then constant 1 suitable block will be executed. If constant 2 is resulted, then constant 2 suitable block will be executed. If constant n is resulted, then the constant n suitable block will be executed. Likewise, if your expression is resulting none of these constants, okay, if your expression is not resulting to constant 1, constant 2 and so on, constant n, then what will happen? The default case will be evaluated. Directly the control will jump from this point to the default case and it will evaluate the default case. When the default case will be evaluated, if none of the cases are matching with the expression, if none of the cases are resulted by the expression, then the default case will be executed. Okay, this is the flow chart. If case 1 is true, statement 1. If case 2 is true, statement 2. If case 3, if none of the cases are matching, then the default case. Likewise. Okay, so this is about the switch case statement in conditional branching statement, and switch case statement is the best example to achieve the multi-way selection statement. Okay, so with the help of all these conditional branching statements, your simple if, your if else ladder, your nested if else, your else if ladder, then finally the switch case statement, using all these will do the program demonstrations very soon. Okay, so with these concepts in our mind, we'll conclude the lecture over here, and in our tomorrow's class we'll be discussing about the loops in C language. Okay, thank you very much, students.